Well, greetings, Blade fans. And today we are looking at the Kaiser Cobalt 2. Not the one, not the original, but the Cobalt 2, which is larger in a little different form factor. And unfortunately, I don't have the version 1. And before I forget his name, it is a design by Sebastian Irawan. Sebastian Irawan. And spoiler alert, I love this knife. This is an ergonomic wonder. It may not be the shape you like. It may not be your favorite form factor in blade profile. Maybe it is. Maybe it's unusual enough that you do like it. But I prefer to take a look at the handle first because it's the handle that meets the hand. And that's important. And this looks strange, like perhaps it wouldn't be ergonomic, but it definitely is. Kaiser used a really beautiful natural greenish micarta, rough natural finish. And it is a front flipper as well as a hole flipper. And we're going to front flip it first. We're going to try. There you go. What would you call that? A forward harpoon, perhaps? I don't know. But look at that configuration to the front. Certainly, as I think Jared Neve pointed out, it's a pocket for your finger for detail work, okay? And you have a point that is somewhat akin to a Wharncliffe, but with a gradual bow to the belly, very slight curve, and a raised point that is on line with the axis of the handle. And you have a handle that kind of, I don't know, looks a little like a duck's tail, kind of turns up like that. I don't want to cast any dispersions on it. I like it. I like the look, and I certainly like the feel. It's not particularly thin in here, and it is not particularly narrow here. And you would think that you'd want the end of a knife to be smaller than the front near the pivot, but this works. This works. I can't tell you how or why, but it works. Really, really nice. And some beautiful detail. We got a kind of a cut in with a chamfer there around the hole, making it easier to use that for opening. As you'll see in a minute, you can middle finger flick it quite easily. You can thumb flick it quite easily. You got some nice accents here, like some fins. You've got some detailing, some milling here along the edges of the handle scales. You've got a deep carry clip, which is, not reversible to the left. Sorry, left-handers. They left you out again. Why, I don't know, because you could easily have put 2 anchor points there. It's a surface-mounted clip with flathead screws, which is nice, means it does go in and out of the pocket pretty easily. And it is deep carry, just about right to the end of the pommel. We've got a short back spacer out of the same material as the handles, nicely grooved, jimped if you want to call it that. We got a very short amount of jimping here that actually, now watch this. Want to see it again? It's drop shut, I think so. On bearings, nicely done. I mean, and there's your thumb flick, and here is a thumb roll. So I have done all of the 4 acrobatic ways, 3 rather, of opening it, okay? I have done the front flip, and it's not hyper aggressive, but if you push in, you know, the grooves are definitely there, and they go all the way around that rounded flipper tab. I don't even know if you want to call it a tab. It's really part of the tang of the blade. I would say middle finger flick is probably the most positive way to open it. Second most positive for me is just to bear down and pop that open. I think the detent is quite nice. Can't shake it free. You can actually slow roll it open with the front flipper. That is interesting. Can't always do that. So as soon as that breaks, it is super smooth, as you can see by the way that drops shut. Well, we'll talk about it some more, but first, let's see how big it is. Overall, 8 1/4 inches with the blade of 3 5/8, I'll call it. And handle thickness in inches, 0.59. Told you it was just a little thicker. Not bad. Blade stock, 0.11. And, come on, 0.29, 0.28. That's more of what I was expecting, 0.28. And the weight, and it is heavily weight relieved inside. Not sure the light's shining through well enough. We'll amplify that a little. There you go. Big cutouts. And yes, they're on both sides. So maybe that will make for a light knife. We'll see. Are we ready? 4 ounces. We'll call that 4.048. 4 ounces. So not an ounce per inch, no, because we've got just a little over 3 1/2 inch blade, but it's coming up on that. It feels pretty solid in the hand. I wouldn't say heavy. When you open it up, the balance totally changes, as you would expect. I'd say, in this position, 4 ounces. Yeah, it's light. Not 3 ounces, 4 ounces, but substantial. No lock rock, no blade play, zero, zilch. Really, really nice. And we're going to do a few comparisons in a moment. So for this comparison, I have a couple other Kizer knives. Another favorite of mine, the Kizer Horn. Also an unusual knife when it comes to the tip. That is a Azo design. Here is a Manganus design. And yes, this one is the Grazioso. Went over really well when it came out. And Manganus has come up with some other designs since that are quite nice as well. Beautiful recurve there on that blade. But again, one of my favorites in the Kizer line. In the Kizer, I would call it under $100 line. I think we're just a little over 100 on the Cobalt 2. And that name Cobalt is interesting. And I looked it up, see if I can find it. And Cobalt, oh yes, is a mythical sprite, having spread into Europe with various spellings, including goblin and hobgoblin. And I think it is also in Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm not a gamer, so you're going to know more about that than me, perhaps. But that's where the name Cobalt comes from. 3 beautiful knives, though, I think you would agree. And I have reviews on each out on the channel, if you'd like to know more. This one's interesting because you can remove the flipper tab with a little screw. So you've got your choice of having it or not. Very streamlined looking and solid in the hand. I mean, that's why I like it. I like the looks. I do like this appearance. But at the same time, it is hand-filling, not overly so. It is just very confidence inspiring and secure. I mean, like, I can't let go of this, you know. And you've got a little bit of go forward there if you want to use it. Not much. Well, it kind of migrates out onto the front of the handle. So yeah, you can hold it up in there. And the jimping is okay. It's not real grabby. It's a little slidey, but you know, it's there. You can feel that it's working for you. But you know, I would lay my thumb all the way out there for push cuts or even defensive use of the knife. Just holds really well because of that contouring, because of the height in here. And believe it or not, because it is wider near the pommel than at the front. You got a built-in finger groove there. You've got a nice recess. Very easy to close this knife. Very, very easy. And again, this is the way it came through. I didn't adjust that. It came through that smooth. And again, yes, on bearings. High flat grind. Kind of a light stonewash finish. Kizer logo there. Did I mention the steel? I didn't mention the steel. Steel is 154 cm. So that's certainly a decent steel for the money. Again, I think we're coming in around 110-ish, something like that. You'll see the links. And that did come from White Mountain Knives. Let's take a look at it next to the Rat 1. Rat 1, just a little longer, maybe not quite 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And the Griptilian is exactly the same length. So we're talking about a Griptilian length knife here and probably somewhere in the same vicinity of height. Way different shaped blade, however. Another look around. Nice thick liner, nice engagement. I would say 40% on that liner. And again, it's strong, but easily disengaged. I would say, you know, early release there. Very nice. Very, very nice. I like the little accents that they give you, some of the detail work. It's a great design. It really is. I think the only thing it's missing is the switchable clip to the left side. Yep, there is, if I didn't point it out, your lanyard pin right in the end. A nice detail on the back spacer. 2 screws. And, you know, just high enough for it to slide in and out of the pocket on that clip. There you go. Kizer Cobalt 2, not the 1, the 2. And a beautiful design by Sebastian Irwan. I don't know much about that designer, but certainly hope he comes out with more designs if he hasn't already. As far as I know, just the Cobalt 1 and 2. Okay, folks, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. Be back with you soon.